Hope you guys like showing here on the screen a step by step in how you cut fades. Fade, not skin fade, not a classic haircut. Fade, still with a little bit of graduation but not skin. Hope you guys understand the step by step. Now I'm about to show you on the mannequin head. Just follow me. What I give it to you, the idea I give it to you here is the recommendation. Get a mannequin head and follow me. Follow all the steps. Guys, the first thing we do here is make sure the hair is wet, and then we detangle all the hair first. Okay, we detangle, make sure the hair is wet, because now we're gonna separate the V panel, and when the hair is dry, you cannot make a very precisely section. So now I'm detangling the hair with my vent brush, as you can see. So before I start do my V panel, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mark my recessions, high, mid, and low. High, mid, and low recessions. You already saw in one of those classes that I give here on this course. So high, mid, and low. So this is my recessions. My V panel, I'm gonna take my higher recession. I'm gonna start from my higher recession and create my V panel here. So now how we create our V panel, I'm gonna take my comb, I'm on defense position with my shears. I'm gonna take my finger and put on the tip of the comb using the wider side of the comb, because now the hair is groomed and now the hair is detangled. Now I'm gonna use my higher recession and I'm gonna sweep the comb all the way to the crown. And now I'm grooming the hair. I'm grooming the hair to the other direction, okay, to this eyebrows, tip of the triangle, and I'm going to sweep the comb all the way to your higher recession on the other side. Okay, sweep the comb, that way you're going to create your V panel. I'm going to show you how it looks like when I call the V panel. It's just because it looks like a V. So now I'm grooming this hair all the way to inside my hands. Okay, hair now is very short because I cut it before, but now I'm going to make sure I put a clip here. So here we go. Why I called V panel, because it looks like a V. Okay, look like a V. We take the hair off the head. It looks like a V. It comes all the way to the center of the crown, not the top of the head, the center. It looks like a V. There's a beak, there's a triangle here, and then towards the front is a square because of the flatness of the head. It's square, so it's coming wider from here and close down here. So now you have a V panel. You know why I do the V panel? Why I separate the V panel is just because it makes me work organized. Now I'm going to start putting in my base, because the hair from here is not following on top here. So now I can use clippers, I can use anything, I can start cutting hair from the sides without bothering me. Is now I'm going to do my base, and I'm gonna find my mid recession. Okay, find my mid recession, and I'm gonna put it in my base. Okay, all around the head. What I'm gonna do, all the way to behind the ears, my finger will be in horizontal. Because I want to create a little bit of weight here, and I want to save my crown, but I can't keep cutting in horizontal because I want to cut too much high on the crown, and I want to save and have more strength and length on the crown, so the cowlick doesn't spike, so I have more control of a little bit longer length. But here, what I'm going to do, right behind the ears, I'm going to start like doing diagonal back. So horizontal, diagonal back, because that way my line, which is my base, is gonna go low a little bit on the crown. So now let me put my base. Okay, just a little bit hair inside your finger. This is my base. It's going to be horizontal. That's my base. Put the comb all the way to the V panel on that line, and bring the hair on top of your fingers and create your base. Now I stop because it's right one finger behind the ears. One finger behind the ears. I start like doing a diagonal back. See, I was cutting horizontal, now I'm doing diagonal back. The reason why is because I want to save the hair. I want the hair longer. I want to have the hair longer on the crown. Okay, I'm gonna do this all the way to the center of the head, but I'm not creating a triangle, nothing triangle here. I'm going to make a round. Okay, that's the idea. So now I have my base done, as you can see, all the way around. Let me pull it down so you guys can see my base very clear here. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. With my finger, and I'll bring into my mid recession. So all the way to behind the ears. Horizontal. Now the tip of my finger is gonna point down, because on the other side it was pointing up, but now it's pointing down because I want to meet my base from this side. I want to match both sides. Okay, now my finger pointing down in diagonal back. My finger pointing down, and here you're going to see the same. Now I connect both. Now my base is on the sides, back, and the other side. So now my hair from the top will connect here in my base because the hair is too long. And when I debulk, that's where I'll stop with my clipper, so I don't go over too much over the parallel ridge, breaking and killing my crown, because this is a very dangerous area because we have flaws, we have cowlicks, the hair can spike. The longer the hair it is here, you can control more the hair. So now it's time to blow dry and debulk. So guys, let's blow dry now 100% downwards, because I want to ensure the base will pop out, because I want to see the base while I'm debulking with my clippers. So I'm going to dry the hair 100% down. I like to cut the hair dry. It's just because I feel like I have more precise cutting. When I'm cutting, I clean better. And also I don't like to cut debulk when the hair is wet. It's just because the hair when it's wet get in between your blades and can slow down your blades a little bit, and can make sure it's not gonna help you at all. So I'm gonna dry first and then I will debulk. And also I'm using medium heat and medium pressure. Now when I start debulking here with my number 2 closed, remember I start doing wetting out the hair, detangle, and then I mark my recessions, okay? Separate the top from the sides using a V panel. Now I'm about to debulk with the number 2 closed. As you can see, that's my base. Now I know where to stop with my clippers, because now I'm not breaking the square shape that is being created here. So now you see the base all the way around the head. Let's debulk, make sure here everything is clean so we can start our fade. The motions, the position, the motions that you use when you're fading. Now in this case, what I'm doing is I'm rubbing and I'm scooping at the same time. When I got closer to the base, I'll go straight up, robbing. When I got closer to the base, my clip comes off just a little bit from the head, matching and connecting with the crown. But what I do is, I'm not doing a whole C, because if I do a whole C, I'm creating a lots of weight down here, and it's going to be much harder for me to blend it. So what I'm going to do, it's a no close C, it's a more open C. Your clip goes almost flat and straight up. Just turn just a little bit like that. So look at it. I'm gonna go in slow motion so you guys can see it. Groom the hair. You can groom the hair from the top inside your guard, coming off. Make sure everything's clean from the hairline up to your base. Rub as much you can. And do this all around both sides and back. Should be very easy, should be very fast when you debulking, okay? And you debulk one panel while your body position is in here, then you debulk the second panel, third and fourth panel. Don't debulk like this, because you can't see what is back there, okay? Just debulk whatever's in front of you first. Work on what you can see first. So now guys, you see my high recession, mid and low. I'm going to create my first guideline, which is my graduation line, with the number one close lever, number one closed. I'm going to create my first graduation line, 1 finger width around the ears and 2 to 3 finger width on the nape, creating my first graduation line, one closed. Behind the ears, my clippers go in a different angle in diagonal back, because here was very horizontal, now diagonal back, so I don't continue to go high. I need to go lower here on the hairline. It's going to be 2 finger width or 3 finger width on the nape and 1 finger width here. So now you can see my guideline, my graduation line. I stop right on the center of the nape of the head. From the hairline to my guideline is 3 fingers. You can do it 2 if you want to go lower, but don't go higher than this, because you're not gonna have much space to blend. So, and then I'm gonna do this all the way on the other side by starting here on the low recession, and I'm gonna meet and match both lines around the head. Lower recession. That's why recessions are so important to understand the recessions, guys. Lower recession. Now I'm putting my my guideline. Now I'm going to go, my clip is gonna angle down a little bit, diagonal back, and I'm gonna meet both lines here. When you're creating your guidelines, I rub, because I want to make sure I clean as much as I can. Make sure that this line is very visible, so I can start like blending this line. But first, before I start blending the line, I'm gonna taper here. I'm going to do my outline. It's going to be square on the sideburns and square in the nape. So now, since my first guideline, graduation line is done, I'm going to finish here doing my outline, the hairline, square, sideburns, the C-cup, around the ears and the back. And let me tell you how I use my trimmers. The trim is very simple and easy. What you have to do is use the tip of the trimmers to go around the ears to make some circles. I use the tip of the trimmers to feel like think about you using a pencil. Okay, and you can draw lines around the hairline. Okay, and when I'm using a full blade is when I have big areas like the sideburns here and the back and the sides. I can use a full blade. So now let me show you how I do it real live here in the mannequin. Square tip of the blade to create my roundness, to create my round lines, and then I turn my hands and I go around the ears, and I'm going to stop with my trimmers right on top of the ears, and then I'm gonna turn my trimmers and I'm gonna meet this line with the one on top of the ears with just the tip of my blade. I meet and connect both. Now I'm gonna do a full blade on the sides. Full blade in the back. You can start making your line where you're going to make even everything. Start making your line on the center, and then you can go both ways, both sides, just following the one very straight, and you're gonna meet this one, and it's gonna be a square outline here. You see, the hairline is nice and clean, and I'm gonna do the other side so you guys can see it here. Full blade to make my sideburns like very sharp. All the way from top of the ears, and then I turn my trimmers and I meet both line on top of the ears. So that's how you do your outline, your taper. Some people call taper. This is my hairline, nice and done. And now you can see I'm going to blend this line, and we're gonna have a graduation from 1 to 2 to the base. You know why? This is not a skin fade, and this is not a classic fade. It's not a classic haircut. It's a fade, but not skin fade. You're gonna see a graduation. Now, guys, it's time to blend the line that we created, the guideline, our graduation line. So now I'm gonna start doing this with 1.5 open, because when I create my guidelines, I create with them closed. But when I'm blending lines, I always start with my guard open, so I don't hurt, or I don't make another lines on higher. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start open, and I'm gonna go all the way to number 2. Then I'm gonna go halfway close and close, okay? Look. I'm gonna start in my guideline, my graduation line, all the way to number 2. 1.5 open, with the lever open. And scoop a little bit, like I mentioned before. And you're gonna go all around the head. All around the head. You have to use the same motion in the back, both sides, same motion, okay? So here, I'm gonna go doing slow motion so you guys can see it. It's still open. Now, since I finish here, I don't want to waste time going over there. I'm just gonna start with my 1.5 halfway close, open, halfway close and close. So I'm gonna start halfway close now. I'm gonna go do around the head. You have to rub and scoop at the same time. So halfway close. Halfway close. Now one is halfway close, you don't hit the number 2 all the way up. You stay like a 1/4 inch below. Same motion. The line is going to start disappearing now. It's going to be blended almost, but I have to use number 1 to finish cleaning that line. So 1.5 open, now 1.5 closed, all the way closed. And I'm going to start here, but I can't go too high because 1.5 closed now is cutting shorter. Scooping, always doing the scooping movement. When you're scooping like this, you have no problem making a lot of lines. So now I stop with my 1.5 halfway close here, and I'm gonna kiss 1.5 and push, come back. Remember, and taking off. Remember, 1.5 open was all the way up there. Now 1.5 close was here, halfway close was here. Now 1.5 all the way closed is gonna kiss my 1.5 halfway closed, and now keep doing that. Okay. Now I'm starting with my one open, my lever open, then I'm gonna go down to 1 halfway close and then all the way close, so I don't make more lines. So I still can see my graduation line, my guideline there, and now that line is gonna disappear complete when I go all the way close with the one up, one close, because I make my guideline with one close. So that's how it's gonna come off. So I start with one open, one open, one open. I stop with my one open where I stopped with my 1.5 closed. Okay, I have to go high enough to make sure the fade is gonna be clean and well blend, and it's gonna be sharp. So now halfway close, one halfway close all around the head, all around the head, halfway close. So now I'm gonna close all the way my lever on one, because now I'm going to take the last remaining hair from my first guideline. But now I don't go too high, as you can see. I just work on my line. I just work on my line, robbing as much you can. See, I still have some line here. I'm robbing as much I can until my line disappears. Till my line disappears. I'm working on a line. Since I have one close now, I can't go all the way to 2, or I can't go higher on 1.5, because the hair here is longer and one close is very short. So I'm gonna keep this low, I'm gonna keep this on the line, and I just finished. So I finished blending the line. Now I'm about to cut the top, cut the length, and connect with the sides. Guys, now I'm about to cut the top. Look, I'm going to release my V panel, release the long hair, and I'm going to groom this backwards, okay? I'm grooming backwards, and from these eyebrows, I'm gonna take my first, I'm gonna sweep the comb, and the top, I'm gonna take my profile guide, 1 finger width on the top, and I'm using the eyebrows reference as reference to make sure my profile guide is perfect. So now this is when I call profile guide. You see, this is my profile guide, because now I'm going to choose the length, I'm going to choose my shape, and then the whole top is going to cut following my profile guide, right hand and left hand side on the top. So now here I got my profile, and I'm going to choose my length by picking up, lifting the hair up, just my profile guide. And now I'm cutting the hair nice and straight. My finger are nice and straight, square. So now this is my length to cut my whole the whole head on the top. So I'm gonna groom the profile guide to one side of the head, which one, this one was the right hand side, and from the side I'm gonna take a horizontal sections, and my profile will be on the center here, as you can see, very small here bit. And now I'm going to connect and cut following the center, which is my profile guide. Finger needs to be flat, finger needs to be very straight. I'm gonna take here my last piece, the fringe. Now you guys can see inside here my finger are my profile guide. My finger needs to be flat, and my hand position needs to be right, needs to be correct. My body posture too. See how I hold my shears? In one of the classes in this course, I showed you guys how you hold your shears correctly for this moment when you're cutting on the top. So now I'm gonna do the same on the other side here. I'm gonna lift the hair up, and on the center here, I have a tiny bit hair that I'm following and cutting. Oops. Now my profile guide is not here. It is on the tip of my fingers, my index and middle finger. I'm grabbing the hair, pulling the hair up with tension. It's lots of tension. Make sure all strands is going to be detangled and straight, very straight, okay, with tension. So now I'm cutting the fringe. Now I still have hair overlapping the base, which now it's time to connect the hair and make here very smooth. Now I'm going to split the hair, the center of the nose, the center of the head, okay, to one side and another, like this, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect the top with the base, okay? The base is right here, which what I done in the beginning, in vertical. My finger needs to be vertical. There's 3 ways to connect this hair. You can connect in vertical, because which is gonna give me a square shape, and layered is gonna be more soft this connection, not this connection, not having a disconnected, but with a soft connection. And if I want a more graduation, I need to do diagonal back, because diagonal back is below 90, so 90, below 90. And if I want to have more diagonal back, it is graduation. As you can see, it's going to start from this. What I'm going to do, vertical sections. If you do diagonal back, it's going to be a little longer here and shorter on the sides, because we did the clippers. And if you want to do more weight and create lots of weight here, be heavy, you're going to do in horizontal, heavy, diagonal. There's the 3 ways you can choose to connect this hair: diagonal, graduation, and now I'm going to do flat layers, which is going to give me a square shape. So as you can see, layers are flat, my finger are flat against the head, parallel with the head. And here on my base, it's right here, I'm connecting this long piece with the top that I just cut, with the top. Now I'm gonna go around the head so you can see it the same. The tip of my finger is touching the head still, but my knuckles are not touching at all. So now this side, what I suggested to you is use your comb pointing forward, and you're gonna grab the fringe, you're gonna bring over to your base, and now you're gonna see your base under here, and knuckle out of the head, tip of the finger is still touching the head, and then you're going to connect, and then you're gonna keep moving backwards. And when you do it, you should make sure you grab your base. You see, my base, it is on my mid recession. Now I'm showing you all the way around the head, keep pushing back, You see how much hair I have from the top to connect. This is overlapping. This connection is going to be very smooth because I'm doing flat layers. Okay, if I do this graduation, which is going to be diagonal back, it's going to be more graduated. If I do it horizontal, it's going to be heavy. So we can choose one of those in this case. See, now I did the connection. What I'm going to do, I'm going to blow dry so I can use my regular shears and my blending shears here. Make sure there's no overlapping. It's going to be nice and smooth, the transition on side and back. So now I'm going to use my blow dry to make sure I'm going to dry the hair 100% before I use my shears on the connection here, on the transition area. Make sure I'm going to take all the overlapping hair, and I'm going to use medium heat and medium pressure. I'm going to use vent brush so the connection here is going to be more soft and look more natural. I don't want to force the hair too much. What I do as well, I'm going to dry the sides, dry a little bit of the fringe, and then I'm going to start from the back towards the fringe, because if I dry everything here on the front and center and top and back, what I'm going to be doing is throwing the dry hair on top of the wet hair. So, and then the dry hair is going to get wet again. So I don't want that. So sides, a little bit here on the front fringe, just pulling up, and then I'm going to do around the head, crown, apex, and then the fringe. So as you can see, I'm using the air pressure to push the hair, and I'm using the vent brush to guide and direct the hair in the direction that I want. So now I dried both sides and a little bit of the crown. Now I'm gonna start drying the whole crown, top, and then the fringe. Now I'm gonna cut with my shears, and I like to cut the hair dry. My regular shears, what I'm gonna do, whatever is overlapping from the top, overlapping my base, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trim and make sure I'm gonna dust everything. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make that even. There's no overlapping around the head. So I'm cutting just whatever is overlapping. I'm dusting this hair. You don't have to cut like a bunch of hair at first, just like dusting this hair. Very easy, since I used my vertical sections to connect this part. You can see it is very soft. Let me put in, you see, very soft here. So it's almost there, because I use vertical sections. So now what I'm doing is, whatever is overlapping, never cut. Whatever is overlapping, when I say what is overlapping, is because the long hair is following. So before you use your blending shears, your thinning shears, use your regular shears to remove everything that is overlapping from the top. Groom the hair really well. Make sure you don't cut the fringe. Take the fringe away. You can use a clip to take off the fringe away, and only blend whatever is overlapping here. See? Now there's no risk. I'm cutting my fringe. Now what I'm going to do, let me show you. You see how dark it is here, how dense the hair is around the base, how dense it is here. What I'm going to use, my blending shears to take away that density around here. Look in here now, guys. I'm going to remove the density over there where my base is with my thinning shears. When I call thinning shears, when I say blending shears, because it has teeth on that tooth. So now you don't have to be worried about it making holes or anything, because if you keep moving with your blending shears, you're not going to be making holes in here. So now you move to the side. You're only using the thinning shears if it's necessary, but most of the time it's necessary to remove this density. And you're going to do all the way around the head, both sides and back. You see how dark it is here? And then you keep doing it until this is very soft and balanced, density balanced. You're gonna place your comb, you're gonna put your thinning shears on top of the comb like this, parallel with the comb, open up and close, and never stop. Groom, if you see anything, just go and pick. And that's it. Now it's nice and blended. Now it's time to remove some weight. So I'm going to take small sections now from the crown all the way to the front, to the fringe. I'm going to take sections and I'm going to reduce some weight using these shears. So now where the hair, top and crown, we can use the shears low on the root of the hair, and you cut once below your finger, then you grab under, then open up, cut it again, move your shears, move it again, cut 3 to 4 times, but don't cut it in the same spot. So now I'm taking sections. Now I am on the apex. You can see how much hair we have inside my hands. So I'm reducing the amount of weight. Okay, I'm reducing the amount of weight on top here. And now I'm passing the apex. What I'm going to do, I'm passing the apex. I'm not cutting low on the root. I'm cutting on top of my finger. 1, move, 1, 3. And on the fringe, don't cut lower on the hairline. Reason why? Because you don't want to have baby hair sticking out here. It will look ugly. So now you only take volume from the tip of the hair. So you do that all around the head. To finish with your blending shears, what you do, I'm going to take small sections from the crown. Okay, as you can see, the hair is very thick because I cut blunt, and now the hair is very heavy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add some texture by point cutting the hair, and now this hair is going to look like a feather. As you can see through now, right? So now I'm going to take another section here, very clean section. And now how heavy is this hair now? Now I'm going to take point cutting, make it lighter. The hair will be a little bit disconnected all over, and then looks like a feather, as you can see. And you know what's going to happen? The hair is going to be disconnected. It's going to be more with more movement and easier for your client to groom. So when you do this all the way on the top. So now let me show you what you do. This, it is the back of the head, and the hair was blow dried backwards. So now I came in the front of the mannequin or my client, and I'm picking up the hair, and my shears, my regular shears, I'm gonna tilt my wrist in, and I'm gonna start point cutting. Okay, you need to go on opposite direction of the hair where the hair is going. So now here the fringe is the same. So the fringe is, I blow dry the fringe backwards. So now the same, I'm gonna point cutting, and you're gonna do this all around the head. Okay, make sure all hair is with point cutting, because now the hair will connect better, the hair will be more soft. So now once I finish point cutting, I'm going to make sure I I'll blow dry this, make sure the hair is gonna be a little warm so I can apply my product. I'll now make sure the hair is going to be a little warm before I apply my product, because when I spread the product in my hands and apply on the hair, the product will spread well all over the hair, and it's gonna help me. So now I'm gonna make sure I make the hair warm. So now I'm going to apply a little bit of powder, because since I add texture, this will add some more density to the hair and texture as well. So I want the fringe more disconnect and more loose. So now I'm about to use something that's very natural. I want the hair natural. I apply the powder, the volume powder, which has a little bit of hold as well. Now I'm using the tip of my finger because I have product all the way there. You rub and you spread in your hand, and then now since the hair is warm, can spread really well through the whole head. Now I'm gonna make the fringe a little bit disconnected, a little bit with more movement. I'm gonna tilt the head a little bit, and I'm gonna pull my fringe forward, and that's how it's going to look like. It's a little bit more volume. You need to learn how to use your hands to create your style. This now, I'm giving life to what I vision at the beginning of this haircut. Every single little detail, every technique, all my energy, I put in this style, because the style what's gonna bring this to life. Because the style is very important. You pay attention and you do it. So that's the final outcome. I want to get closer to you here so you guys can see it. Square to the back. I told you, we're not doing classic cut. Classic cut doesn't have graduation. We're not doing skin because it's still, you see the hairline. We did like a square here on the sideburn, square in the back. And this is a fade. Fade means you start from a smaller guard to a higher guard, but it still has hair. So as you can see, very close, very close. Now, this is your fade. Still looks very square, very neat. So this is the finish, this is the final outcome. And what I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna break down everything very fast for you guys, very quick. What I did first, I wetted out the hair, make sure the hair was wet, detangle, and then I separate my V panel. Once I separate my V panel from the top from the sides, I created my base. Once I created my base using shears, I dried the hair downwards, then I debulk with number 2 all the way, all the 4 panels. Once I debulk with number 2, I marked my first graduation line, which was with 1 closed, and then I did my around the hairline, all around the hairline. I did with the trimmers because there was hair there and I had to do something. Also can taper here if you want to, taper in the back. But once I finished there, I start blending the line, blending my my graduation line that was left behind by 1, and I start like blending down everything from 2 to 1, which I start with 1.5 because 2 I used prior, I used before to debulk. I start with number 1.5 open, and then halfway close and close, and then I change the sweep guards to number 1 back. Number 1 I start open, halfway close and all the way close, and then I finish blend the line. Once I did that, once I blend the line, I start cutting on the top. By dividing a profile guide in the center, I chose my length and shape, and then from the center, my length, I cut both sides, right hand and left hand on the top. I cut following my profile guide, but then I still had lots of disconnection. So in this case, I had to connect the hair. So I split the hair on the center. Once I split the hair, brought the hair down to the base, and I start cutting in vertical. So my transition area would be much smoother and softer. And then I use my regular shears to cut whatever is overlapping the corners. I cut it, make sure everything was even, and then I use my blending shears to remove density and remove weight from the top. And then I did point cutting technique on the top, and I make sure I use a little bit of heat to blow dry the hair again, because of when the hair is warm, the product spreads well. So I apply powder, volume powder, to create some textures, a little bit of hold, something more like outgoing, you know, something not classic at all. So, and then I use a dry matte finish paste, and I finish using my hand, using my vision, and create the whole style. So here we go. This is the last. This is what you see. This is a fade haircut. Hope you guys like, and I'll see you on the next class. Just follow the steps and you're gonna do it right.